At 6 o'clock, the clock rang. I turn it off and think, what day is today? Oh, it's Monday again. At 6:30, clock rang, turn it off and think, why bother? At 7 o'clock, turn it off and think, why do I do the things I do? A 7:15, I have to get up, otherwise I'll be late for work. This pattern has been quite a while. Why do I do what I do? Arriving at work, I scroll through my agenda and to-do list and start to think about how to convince the potential clients to buy into my organization's vision and mission that we have upheld for decades. You see, one of my jobs is to convince other people to buy in our vision so that the social welfare project can be well-funded and maintained. But the obvious problem is, how do I even convince other people when I don't even support nor believe it myself? Even though I know that there are some fundamentals I'm missing, but all I can do is just self-deceive and giving myself a lot of pep talks. Interestingly enough, a book came to me out of blue that had propelled me to think about my stage at this moment. It's called Find Your Why. Don't worry, I'm not here to sell this book. The core of it is to find your cause and your belief, which is your why. And the next level is to find your how. It's your actions that you bring your why into your life. And the final stage is what. It's your work that you do day to day to align your why to your what. So when I discovered this book, I feel like this is something I would want to try. And the format is pretty simple, that you need to share your personal stories. Through that, you can scroll down from the what to your why. And not just a day-to-day story, it's personal and meaningful stories. For example, questions like, what has been the pivotal moment that when you realize everything has changed? Or what had happened that changed the way you view about the world and your role in it? After collecting all your personal stories, you need to tell someone. That's the most intriguing part about this book for me, is that you simply cannot do it by yourself. You need to find a friend or a partner who knows how to actively listen, sense your emotions, and probe with sympathy and compassion. You cannot just sit and meditate all day yourself and think, oh, I'm going to do it right and try to find my why. No, that is not going to work. After your sharing, then you need to find the similar things. Choose one for contribution and choose another one for the impact that you want to make. The format is very simple. This is your why statement. To do what contribution so that what impact you want to make. And you want to make sure that your why statement is simple, actionable, and focusing on creating positive impacts for other people. And why is that important? Because creating positive impacts, that will bring the real joy. The real joy comes from creating positive impact and helping people rather than focusing on ourselves. So soon after reading this book, I thought, hey, this might be a great idea to try and ask my colleague at work for our weekly meeting. I thought it might give me a chance to know my colleagues' motivations about their works, about the work that we do. We never got to write it down about our why statement, but at least it gave me a chance to know how they view their works and reflect on my own. After this small experiment at work, I knew that I wanted to write down my why statement. But before coming up the why statement, you also need to put in mind is that this why statement is fundamental in every aspect in our life. No matter you're at work or at office or at home, this fundamental statement applies to all aspects in your life. I look at my why statement, and it's to search for a better way so that we can make awesome changes. I always believe there is a better way in doing the things we do. It's not an excuse to neglect the reality or only search for and crave for a glamorous future. No, on the contrary, it helps me to realize where I'm at right now, knowing my identity as a child of God, committing myself to God's plan, and getting myself to work. And how do I know there's always a better way? Because God never wants us to settle and feel good about ourselves. No, God wants us to grow and be the light and salt of this world. And this fundamental aspect should also apply to every ways in our lives, right? Whether we're at home and at work, and definitely here at Born to Shine Toastmaster Club. I couldn't emphasize how this place had changed me. This place has changed me when I was in a really dark place, when I was having depression, and this place completely transformed my life. I couldn't emphasize how important is that. So therefore, my fellow Toastmasters, I encourage you to push me further, to help me to see whether what I said does align with what I do and what I committed to as a club officer and a member. I will say that again. Please push me further if you haven't heard it clearly. And I encourage you to search for your why statement, because this applies to all aspects in your life. This shouldn't be just at work, at home. It's all the same. It's all that fundamental. So if you do find out your why, please let us know. We wanted to create a positive impact, and we believe that we're going to make awesome changes. Back to Tianyi.